What fact sounds fake at first, but is actually real? The day Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire was the exact middle of his life. To the day. It is estimated viruses kill about 50% of ocean biomass every 4 days. Iran arrested 14 squirrels on suspicion of espionage. A Russian luxury SUV manufacturer attempted and failed to use whale penis skin for their SUV interiors. When compasses were first used on ships, sailors were afraid of them because they thought it had evil powers. Compasses were stored in boxes called a binnacle. President Coolidge got sent a raccoon for Thanksgiving one year, but instead of eating it, he granted it a pardon because it was cute. Orcas are a natural predator to moose. A typical cumulus cloud actually weighs 1 million pounds. 951 kilograms. You can fit about $4 billion worth of plutonium into a shoebox, but not for very long. It takes 2 years for a pineapple to grow. There isn't a single bridge across the Amazon River. There was a week in American history where Tim Allen had the #1 film, TV show, and book. Ancient sailors believed that cats were magic and would often risk their own lives, even in an every man for himself situation, to save a cat from a sinking ship. All ships had at least one ship's cat, as cats would eat the rats that have always plagued ships. The ship's cat would often be given a rank and sailors would generally take excessively good care of their cats. A barnacle has a penis up to 10 times the length of its body. Cheetahs can't roar. They meow like house cats. The Nazis were the first ever people in modern history to start an anti-smoking and tobacco movement, or being from Scotland, and finding out the national animal is the unicorn. Chickens are one of many species of birds that don't have penetrative genitalia. Read. Cocks are cockless. The method of reproduction they use is commonly called a cloacal kiss, and you can think of it as chicken scissoring, because bumping holes is the grossest possible way to phrase chicken sex. Also, chickens are not a flightless species like lots of people think, and are generally totally capable of short flight. Jack the Ripper was still active when Nintendo was founded. Edit. Thanks for my first silver. Netflix was founded before Google. A common ingredient in chemotherapy is horse sperm. Of course listed under some long medical term. I used to deliver 100-pound tubes of it to companies that make the drugs. Distance from USA to Russia 4 kilometers. This fact is always amusing. The 10th president of the US, John Tyler, 1790 to 1862, has 2 living grandchildren. The Ethiopian calendar is 7 years behind the rest of the world. Edit. Yeah guys, it's still 2013 there. Pocahontas and Shakespeare lived during the same time. The US and Russian military employed dolphins as part of their marines. There used to be a species of parrot native to what is now Kentucky and Tennessee. Every Canadian is allowed to get a free Canadian flag from the government. However, if you ordered a flag today, you would get it in about 110 years. Stop signs used to be yellow. In 1922, the American Association of State Highway Officials met to determine a standard design for stop signs. And that's where they decided on the color yellow, because they thought that would grab drivers' attention. They'd also considered red, but there was no dye available at the time that wouldn't eventually fade. By 1954, sign makers had access to fade-resistant porcelain enamel, and could finally start making stop signs the red color recognized today. You can fit all the planets in our solar system touching end to end between Earth and the Moon. Lyrebirds imitations will seriously sound exactly like the thing they are trying to imitate. If they imitate a chainsaw, you will think it's a chainsaw. It sounds like a perfect recording. One 10-inch pizza is more pizza than 2 7-inch pizzas. There is no date between the 3rd of September 1752 to the 13th of September 1752. Check out the September calendar of 1752. 11 days are missing in the calendar. This is due to the fact that we converted our calendar from Julian to Georgian calendar on 2nd of September 1752. A bunch of bastard Scots who hated the way England played rugby is why we have the quarterback position in American football. Edit. Adding for relevant history. Both the Cal and Stanford University football teams we know today played the New Zealand All Blacks in rugby during the 1910s. The Panama Canal runs primarily north/south. The previous owner of the company Segway died from driving a Segway off a cliff. The Holy Roman Empire still existed when the US was founded. The sun is so loud. If space was filled with air instead of being a vacuum, we'd be hearing screeching sun noises at 125 decibel at all times. Dinosaurs never ate grass, because it didn't exist yet. The guy who sang Peanut Butter Jelly Time died in a police shootout. Also, his brother-in-law was there trying to talk him out of shooting himself. You know who that stepbrother was. Ducking Snoop Dogg. Edit. Jesus Christ on wheat toast. Stop correcting me about Bill/stepbrother. I meant brother-in-law. Edit. To apparently stepbrother and Bill are different. Stop correcting me. FFS. That the United Kingdom once indirectly funded an invasion of itself. Echidnas have a 4-pronged penis. The combined weight of all the ants on the planet is greater than all the humans. During WWII, the Polish army had a brown bear in their ranks. The bear was really helpful to the force, particularly for carrying heavy artillery. One horse is actually 15 horsepower. There was a USA Gov program to communicate with dolphins while under the influence of LSD, but one young female researcher actually used her hands to sexually pleasure a dolphin during that program. On average, Mercury is the closest planet to Saturn. Edit. Yes. I know it is every planet. It sounded cooler when I typed it out if I just said Saturn. People in Europe feared the tomato for over 200 years because they thought eating it would kill them. It was even nicknamed the poison apple. T-Rex, 64 million years ago, is nearer to now in years than it is to Stegosaurus, 151 million years ago. Images depicting them fighting are very wrong. In his 19-year career in the NBA, Shaq only ever made one 3-pointer. In a room of just 23 people, there's a 50-50 chance of at least 2 people having the same birthday. The average density of the universe is 1 proton in 3 cubic meters and the average temperature is 273 Kelvin. IDK if this is already here. But Greenland extends further north, west, east, and south of Iceland. There is a city in Turkey called Batman. During the Cold War, the US had an idea to drop XL condoms labeled medium all over Russia to make them think they are more manly. Lego is the largest producer of tires in the world. There are more trees on Earth than there are stars in our galaxy. The inside of a penis has a gun barrel shape. There are more people on Earth than rats. Over 56,000 people died during WW2. The yearly risk in the US of dying from a shark bite is around 1 in 250 million, and the yearly risk of dying from a vending machine accident is roughly 1 in 112 million. Therefore, vending machines are about twice as deadly as sharks. Maine is a closet US state to the continent of Africa. North America is almost entirely west of South America. Technically they could be called East and West America. Disney is the second largest buyer of explosives in the world. It takes about 3 to 4 generations before your entire existence is completely forgotten. Assuming you don't invent the cure for cancer, or discover the 5th dimension or anything like that. A lot of the earliest war gods were actually goddesses. When large ships were first sailed through electrical storms, they would sometimes see a blue glow at the top of their mast. There was no lightning, and they thought it meant they were cursed. El Paso, Texas is closer to Los Angeles than it is to Beaumont, Texas. Joseph Stalin was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize twice. Humpty Dumpty was never an egg. There is no mention of him being an egg in the rhyme at all. It is believed that Humpty Dumpty was actually a cannon on a wall, which was destroyed. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the invention of the iPhone than the construction of the Great Pyramid, or that 1980 was 40 years ago. Edit for clarification. Male giraffes will headbutt a female in the bladder until she urinates. Then it tastes the pee to help it determine whether or not the female is ovulating. Because the number of possible combination of genes isn't infinite, there are probably at least 7 humans that looks the same as you. Pumpkins are rarer than diamonds in Minecraft. Atlanta is closer to the Canadian border than it is to Miami. The US government kidnapped and experimented on its own population. The United States has no federal law that forbids owning a tiger. Koalas are born with chlamydia. It's not in standard for them though. Edit. My dad is gay. That fact sounded especially fake to my mom after 20 years of marriage. It is unhealthy to have low cholesterol in your body. Cholesterol helps to fight disease as well as feeds the brain. It's been proven that older people with a higher cholesterol count are actually more healthy than those who are deficient. Personally, I thought it was the opposite for so long. Only recently did I learn this. More people suffer from the fear of balloons than fear of cockroaches. That ants don't take full damage. Edit. Who knew a comment about ants would be my top comment. Thank you, kind stranger, for the gold. That the atoms in your body other than hydrogen were formed in stars that died long ago.